Welcome. I am wildly excited to be with you this Sunday in One Mountain, Many Paths, which is the beginning of an articulation of a revolution, right? Of a shared story of value, because that's what a revolution is. A revolution means there's a meta crisis. It could all break down in quite serious ways, but breakdown's also a time of breakthrough, and it's only breakthrough that responds to breakdown. Emergency is a time of emergence, but it's only the emergence, the new emergence, that responds to the emergency. That's what we mean when we say crisis is an evolutionary driver. Our crisis is a birth, as my beloved evolutionary homemate, Barbara Marx Hubbard, loved to say. At the core of our response to the meta crisis is One Mountain, Many Paths. And One Mountain, Many Paths, we meet every week. Let me try and say that more slowly, friends. One mountain, many paths. The essence of what we're doing in this revolution is telling a new story, but particularly telling a new story of value in response to the crisis. Now, for the last 20 years or so, beginning with a book called Soul Prints that I was privileged to write in 2000 or something like that. And there's a section in that book called Live Your Story. I've been working with this notion of story and understanding story as a primary structure of reality. And that's a very, very dramatic thing to say. In other words, what I'm saying is that story is not merely a human creation. That story is the structure of reality itself. And I've tried to say that in many different ways over the last 25 years. And some of it has caught on in different places, which is wonderful. And I've talked about your sacred autobiography as your unique story, as part of the story of reality. And what all that means is wildly important, because in the end, your life is a story, in which you're thinking about all the time, just between us, is your life story. You're thinking about the plot lines and the players and the actors. And of course, there's meditative movements that tell you to move beyond your story. So what are they saying? What's that about? What's our relationship to story? That's our question. And story is everything. It's the center of enlightenment. Right relationship to story is the essence of what enlightenment is. It's the essence of realization. It's also the essence of joy. It's the essence of ethos, ethics. It's the essence. Let me see if I can get that word, friends, essence, right. So the essence, right, of goodness. It's the essence of truth and beauty. And it's been really at the center of everything we're doing. And we call the new story of value cosmoerotic humanism. So I've been privileged, and thank you, bottom and top of my heart. When people say thank you for the bottom of my heart, I'm not sure what that means actually. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, the middle of my heart, the top of my heart. But let's not work that out now. But thank you from all of my heart for being with us, for participating in this great revolutionary undertaking, this coming together, this new renaissance. And I know we've talked about story in different contexts, but we're really going to enter from this Sunday about 10 weeks, other than one or two special guests we're going to have along the way, where we're going to talk about story, about the centrality of story, how story works, why story, and living your story, owning your story. My friend Aubrey talks about Own the Day. Right? He wrote a book for the world of self-development, a beautiful book called Own the Day. Let's think about it a little bit of a different way. Own your story. And those, of course, go together. Own the day is structurally how you own your day. You don't let your day sweep you away. Let's talk now about own your story. How do you not become the object of a story that sweeps you along, but actually the humble but audacious master of your story? Even when you realize that you don't control all the plot lines and there's something bigger happening. It's the single most important topic that we can talk about. In the moment that we face the end of our story, in this world, in this manifest realm, death, how we face death is about how I lived my story. And what does it mean to realize that death is a moment between stories? So there's so much to talk about. So we're going to step into story. We're going to step into live your story. That's going to be our topic for the next foreseeable future. It's now, where are we now? In April someplace? Let me take a look here, friends. What day is today? God knows. Right, it's April 28th. So we're meeting tomorrow's Saturday, and then it's Sunday. So that'd be April 30th, friends. Okay. So starting April 30th till, mid-August. It's May, June, July, beginning of August. We're going to be in this story conversation. Live your story is the theme. And every week we're going to approach it from a different perspective. And we'll tell some stories. We'll share stories. Let's write a new story about story. Let's tell a new story of value. Let's respond to the meta crisis. Only a new story changes reality. But here's the thing. Only a new story, which is emergent from a new story about story. It can't just be a postmodern story that's made up. My friend Yuval Harari, he says story is really important. As a historian, right? Historian, right? Yuval says story is really important, but they're all made up. There's no intrinsic difference between stories. You're just making them up. Well, that doesn't actually change history. That doesn't work. You can't manipulate story. You've got to get the ontology, the deeper reality of what story is. So, hey, can I tell you a story? Will you tell me a story? Let's get together and let's make this revolution. Let's evolve story. Let's evolve our stories. Let's claim our stories. Let's own our stories. Let's live our stories. Okay? Here we go. Love mad. I love you madly, madly, madly. Thank you. I can't wait to be with you. Cha.